Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review, so I hope you find this one interesting. This movie is a crime mystery from the USA, English language, released in the year 2017, directed by Taylor Sheridan, and this film is called Wind River. So Wind River is set in a very snowy Native American reserve community. It's been devastated by alcohol. It's a very sad sort of environment, and these Native American Indians are trying to live the best they can. So amongst them is a white hunter. Now this white hunter specialises in killing predators that are preying upon their livestock. So one day when he's on a hunt, he comes across this frozen body. Now this is a young Native American woman. She appears to have been raped, and she is basically just laying there and forgotten about. So the hunter reports it in. The police come to investigate. They get the services of an FBI agent who comes in from interstate, and they start to piece together how she came about this fateful day, and it leads to some hidden secrets, not only in the community but also within themselves, that really devastates things and complicates matters. So whether or not there is justice for this woman that has been found is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Wind River. I didn't know what to expect with this film. Now it's very dangerous when you come into a movie that has a lot of hype. Now usually I don't review mainstream Hollywood films and movies that have been reviewed a million times before, but when I saw the trailer I definitely wanted to give it a shot. Now I've always loved Native American Indian community, Native American Indian culture, and I'm very sad to see what Native American Indian communities have become. And this is not something that's only confined to the United States. This is all over the world. When you've got natives, and when the settlers came in, how these natives have actually been treated, it's very, very damaging, very, very depressing. And so when I saw the trailer, I thought this is very interesting. Not only do you have some very good visuals, some very good actors, but that sort of the idea of this community and how this community has been treated, I thought was a driving point. So I thought, okay, this is going to be one of the rare exceptions where I'm going to review a mainstream film. But as I said, I went in there with great skepticism based on the fact that everybody loved this film. So after watching the movie, I will say that this is one of the rare occasions where I will agree with all the hype, because this was a phenomenally made experience. This is a movie that is an action/thriller, and I thought the action/thriller murder mystery aspect was very well done. I thought it was very tense. The characters were complemented by a very, very good atmosphere. I thought the visuals reminded me of Sicario, actually. Sicario was a movie that came out a while ago about Mexican drug cartels, but it was a completely different story. But where Wind River has a lot of similarities is the way that the atmosphere can actually dictate how the viewer is feeling. In that at the start of this movie there's a devastating soundtrack and devastating visuals. On the outside it's an absolute beautiful visual film, but you can sense the isolation, you can sense the desperation just by what you're seeing. And so Sicario did that so well, and so Sicario was a deeply unsettling movie based on the fact that not only did it have some shocking moments, but it was that atmosphere that was the most unsettling aspect. And this is exactly with Wind River. I thought it was phenomenally made as far as production is concerned. The camera angles were great. There's some wide angles where you can just sense the desolation, you can sense the isolation, and the fact that this Native American community was basically a forgotten community, and that they were left to fend for themselves. And so the tension between the Native American and the white community was ever present. Even when this FBI agent, played by Elizabeth Olsen, when she comes in to investigate, I could sense the tension between the Native Americans and this character. And the only reason why there was no tension with the main character, played brilliantly by Jeremy Renner, was because he was actually part of the community. He understood them. So the level of ignorance, the level of misunderstanding is what created the division within these two communities. And the beauty of the film is it doesn't preach this difference. It doesn't make you feel as though you should be feeling guilty for being white. It's just saying it as a matter of fact how it is. And so the devastation in that community translates through to the devastation of the whole story, that you've got this beautiful young woman that's been raped and murdered, and why is she being raped and murdered, and why has she been forgotten? So when there's a sense of justice that comes into the film, you want the movie to be basically come to a conclusion. You want this woman to get the justice, because the characters have gone into a level where you feel as though you can really relate to them. Now Jeremy Renner's character was by far the best. The chemistry he had with Elizabeth Olsen's character, who is this FBI agent, I thought the chemistry was there. It never gets into melodrama, it never really feels sorry for itself, but it gives you enough insight into very damaged people to give you that sympathy. And because it becomes so natural, that is why it hits you with so much more of an impact. So Jeremy Renner's character has a little bit of a side story, and that side story really develops his character into a very three-dimensional mold, and it snowballs into something so much better, because as the movie goes along and it's fraught with danger, the deeper they go into the investigation, I wanted Jeremy Renner's character to come out of it, because he was so likeable, and it's probably his best performance, I will say. It's a big thing to say because he's had a few good performances, but Jeremy Renner's performance as this guy who is working as this hunter, this is his best performance, because this is the most likeable that I have seen him. So you've got other characters from the Native American community that I thought, okay, they are very standoffish, they are very, they don't have a lot of trust, and those trust issues are getting in the way of the investigation. investigation, so it complexes the investigation so much more than just a standard sort of murder mystery whodunit. So you've got action sequences that were very brutal and very hard-hitting. Some of the action and some of the death scenes actually surprised me because of how hard-hitting they are, but that cold, realistic, hard-hitting violence matches the cold, realistic, hard-hitting community and the cold, hard sort of sledgehammer that is ever pounding the viewer and these characters from start to finish. So it's not a movie that's going to make you feel good, and I think that Taylor Sheridan actually treated the subject matter with great respect. As I said, he's not lecturing you, so he's not making you feel guilty about, you know, what's happened in the past, and I believe that's very important to never forget the past, because you have to learn from what's happened in the past. But unfortunately, this movie shows that we really haven't learnt that much, and that these Native American Indians are treated bad, but as I said, it's not feeling sorry for itself. It's using it as something of a level of intrigue, and it's giving it something so much more than just a one-dimensional paper, cardboard, cut-out thin storyline. So the way the story progresses, I thought it was a very hard-hitting ending. And there's a little bit of writing at the end that really hit home what this whole film was all about. And as I said, that forgotten community. And it really hit me hard, and it really disturbed me. And at the same time, it was a very emotional sort of response that I had with this film. And I wasn't expecting that. But that was because there was so much attention to the great detail in this film that a lot of other films really lack. So this is an absolutely brilliant film. It's definitely one that does live up to the hype. And as a result of that, I'm going to give Wind River 4.5 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.